Joe Biden, I would not vote for him. He could barely go up an airplane without falling. He's tripping over his dog. He can't ride a bike. No, I'm serious.
Oh, you right.
He's too old to be the president. Every time I'm embarrassed for him. Every time I see him, he's falling and tripping. And I be like, oh, Lord.
I'm for whichever side benefits me more. And right now, I do agree with a lot of things that Trump is doing. Because the economic right now is in shambles.
Think about. Let's go back to the January 6th. We making this sound like, they making it sound like it's a 9/11, right?
Exactly.
Just think. Let's think about how many guns did they find on those people in January 6th? How many people other than the one trigger happy?
Security let them in.
But they want to call Trump racist. The same guy that was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The same guy that defended Mike Tyson, the same guy that got LeVar Ball's son out of China, the same guy that freed Kodak Black.
The question again was about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Well, where are they at today?
Oh, and
Exactly. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Chicago Conservative. And today I have a very lovely family today. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Larry.
I'm Tam.
And I'm Sonny.
First thing I want to say is thank you guys so much for inviting me here. I really appreciate that a lot. First thing we're going to talk about is, some politics a little bit. So how do you guys feel about, immigration that's going on in America? Do you guys feel like it's beginning to get out of hand? Or do you guys feel like, how the Democrats feel like it's not a problem? We support our illegal migrants and all this stuff. Or, well, undocumented, what they say. So...
Well, man, open your eyes. It's just like what you're saying. I mean, are we gonna believe our lying eyes? You just open the borders and just let people walk in. Now you got measles. You don't know who's walking in. Fentanyl. You got all kind of drugs coming in, all because you want to vote. You want to wipe out a different set of people and bring another set of people in. You know what I'm saying, for votes. It's not about love. We know that. You can tell that from the way they're being treated since they've been here. It's not about that. It's about how can we bring in more votes quickly, legalize them.
And you know what they're doing with them states. Remember, we talked about that the other day, how we got 27 states that's all Democrat that don't even require a photo ID to vote.
So and that's the whole thing.
What they're trying to do. They're trying to cheat. The Democrats trying to cheat.
That's the whole thing with the mail-in ballots and all of that, from, a few years ago. The thing is one good thing the governor did in Texas, smart. Okay, since everybody say welcome and we love them, as long as they was in Texas, it was okay. Everybody, this Texas governor, he's the evil devil, But now he said, okay, but since everybody got this love, okay, we're gonna put them in everybody's state. You know what I'm saying?
Biden was actually willing to go to civil war against Greg Abbott when it came to the border. That's actually crazy.
And now that we have them everywhere, we just feeling a little bit of it. And he says, imagine Texas and Arizona and different places where they coming straight over. They still overpopulated. You see what I'm saying? And imagine what they going through.
Yeah,
and we just getting a little taste of it. So it's about votes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's about votes.
It's about work as well, because they can get the immigrants to work at a place to where somebody needs certified license and say, hey, don't say nothing. Big name companies that I basically know about. And I was informed that, okay, this person didn't have this, but the immigrant that came there at a young age did all these positions to where me and you have to go get a license for.
Right, and it's unfair.
And it's not fair. So it's under the table. You know what I'm saying? So they allow them to work these companies and do all these off the jobs, panhandling, to where my daughter here have to get a certificate. And say, hey, I want $25 an hour, to where they paying them $16 an hour, and they settle for that.
Right.
Because he's an immigrant, and he can't say nothing about it. All he want is a job. So they basically making deals like, I'll work for $18 just to stay in this country, versus if you need the qualifications, this job entitled $30 an hour. So guess what? Guess who they gonna keep? The one who they paying $16, $17 an hour versus the one that's $30 an hour. So okay, you send your kid to school, to college to get a degree, but when they come out, now the immigrants have it with no green card. It takes them 2 months, not less than 2 months, to get a public aid. SNAP benefits to where other people, you've been living here, you lose your job, now you going through hell and hot water trying to get unemployment, trying to get food stamps for your same community, to where people looking like, okay, how much? You go into the grocery store, $20. You gonna pay $3 for some bread, $3 for milk, and $3 for egg. Yep. You ain't got no meat or no vegetables to eat.
Nothing extra.
So at the end of the day, and that's it. I would say that's at Aldi's, because I say Aldi's is the low budget. You can't afford food. You can't afford gas because everything is so high and priced up. Chicago is so expensive to live in, but yet everybody is getting underpaid. They bring in all these facilities to where, okay, you close the schools, you close the mental health centers. These people are running around here crazy. Oh, they locked them up in jail. That's another place where they make money. The jails make money. Okay, other than sending them to a mental hospital, you send them to jail. They get money for the people all the people that goes in jail, even though they got a mental problem and they not knowing it. So they releasing all them people. So it's just all about money at the end of the day.
Right. And I want to bring up something that I'm sorry. I just want to bring up something that you said that was really important. That you said that they'll pay the immigrants 17 rather than American 30, right? And that's because of cheap labor. That's what they want out of these Democrats. They want to. It's basically like modern day slavery. You know what I'm saying? You got to do.
Why encourage us to send our kids to school, to college? All these college students that's graduating can't even get a job.
Well, you got to understand the debt of the United States is like $36 trillion right now and counting. So, you know, they're going to use anything as far as credit card debt, school debt, loan. And people don't realize this, but a lot of people like that's going to school, they don't really graduate, but they still have to pay the debt that they owe.
What happened to Biden and his free debt that he was going to help?
What happened? I don't know.
What happened to the debt that he said, okay, everybody went and applied, oh, he going to wipe out the debt. But yet still, this motherfucker send billions over to Ukraine.
Right. And my thing is, I'm sorry, one more thing. My thing about that is, yes, he did forgive student loan debt, but he took that money back. That's the crazy part.
When did the money come?
No one knows.
How did you give some shit and never?
These are the questions.
How did you give something and you never got it?
These are the questions that people want to know.
So Indian giver.
I believe.
Hey, give me something and I never had it, and then take it back. That don't make sense. I never gotten it.
The thing about that is, you have to remember, everything, even with this student loan forgiveness, everything, it's not about love. It's about how can we get enough votes to stay in power. Everything, when you see these different Democrats and different media, these late night talk show, everybody is in position of power right now, and everybody's scared to death. If Trump get back in, they're going to lose their position, the money they make, and the power it's all about power. They don't care if your federal taxes, your taxes that come out your check, the first 60% of it goes on debt. Before any go on roads or streets or light posts, the first 60% of your federal money, taxes that come out your check, goes on, the debt, the national debt. So I mean, it's not about anything but this power that they're trying to keep. And keep their positions that in office and different things that they're trying to keep.
Do you got anything you want to say? You can hold the mic.
Oh, thank you.
With the roads and the potholes. Okay, every year I see construction people. Every year they're closing down this road. What are you putting synthetic road on the road? Why don't you put some? Because every 6 months they rebuilding, but those are the people that they giving money to. construction, infrastructure. But at the end of the day, you're using cheap material. You know what I'm saying? So where soon some snow drop on it, it's crumbled up.
But just think about it. Why would you open a border and just let anybody come in office? I mean, just come across the border. You remember when Barack said a change is coming and that we need to learn how to speak different languages, Spanish and different things. Don't worry about them speaking English. Change is coming. Right. This is what he was talking about. Why bring this many people? The first thing Biden did when he got in office is when he tore down that gate, the wall that Trump was trying to build to secure the border. Why do you think that's happening? Because they're trying to change the demographic of what's going on in America and to stand to power. It's not about love. Even when they legalized the different gays and different. It wasn't about we love gays and different things. It's about how can we win their trust for votes. Mm-hmm. It's always about votes with them because once, let me tell you something.
So you saying they using each individual?
That's right. Because let me tell you,
the LBG.
Everybody is in for power.
Yes,
for power.
For
power to stand for votes.
They're using the Mexicans.
Yes.
For votes.
And who else?
For votes.
They're using
that for votes.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
So
once if they do win this election, do you think all this love that these people across the board is getting, do you think they're going to continue to keep giving them this love each year? Once they get them in and get empowered, get their power how they want it, what you think is going to happen to all these different people?
They're going to take all that love back. What happened?
They're going to be right on the street.
What happened when Obama was president and everybody was like, oh, change is coming because he's black? Well, he's half black. Everybody don't really want to point that out, but everybody thought change was coming when Barack Obama came.
Is he a Cushite?
I have no idea what he is. All he did was just manage to add $10 trillion. All he managed to do was just add $10 trillion to the U.S. debt, make gay people have the right to get married. You know, and me personally,
and that's for a vote.
And that's what
because
people are
I'm
considered good. But people don't want to.
Well,
yeah, but people. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
mean, it's not that. I mean, it's give a person a chance or give a person a bone and watch how it run. I mean, he legalized that, and you would think, okay, that's it. Okay, now we can marry one another. You know what I'm saying? You know the abomination of that. But now, okay, so now we gonna go for the kids now, and that's the whole problem.
Obama did all that.
How do you guys feel about gay marriage?
I mean.
Every soul is on themselves. If they don't be taught, I cannot teach you. If you can be straight or gay, if you're not living by what God say, then you're doomed. If I tell you something, what God say, gay, straight, liar, thief, a killer, murderer, adulterer, bear false witness against thy neighbor, we all in the same boat. It's sin. So if you're not aware of it, if you're aware of it, I know I'm aware of it. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to change my ways. So I can't judge on nobody. I'm just trying to save myself, and I tell everybody else to save themselves. I can't save you. I can't save you. I can tell you about it, but it's to each his own. Cause people gonna do what they gonna do, and their mind is already made up. Right. So on that point of salvation, it's every man for themselves at this point. Yeah. I can't save my grandkids or nobody, and that's how I look at it. What do you think, Tamari?
Yeah, what do you say, I guess, well, I'm a believer of Christ, so I go by what the Bible says. But at the same time, if you're not a Christian and if you don't believe in that, like my mother said, like salvation is on your own. Mm-hmm. But I do think it was a political move. I do think on the politician side to get the votes.
From who?
Yeah, from what
side? I'm asking questions.
Okay, I will say this.
From who?
I will say this. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. I'm for whichever side benefits me more. And right now, I do agree with a lot of things that Trump is doing. Mm-hmm. Because the economic right now is in shambles. But going back to the marriage and gay marriage, if you're not a Christian, I'm more so like, okay, well then salvation is on your own. Like,
So I got a question for you guys. Why? I'm sorry. So why do people know that Barack Obama legalized gay marriage, but he don't know that he started those cages for those children, 85,000 to be exact? They're sitting in cages right now. Joe Biden has a part in that as well. And also a lot of people don't want to realize, you guys know about the Ukrainian war, right? The one with Russia and all of that. That actually started under the Obama administration and not the Trump administration. So they're blaming Trump for something that he had to been left with, with what Obama had started, you know what I'm saying? That started under him.
It spilled
So
over to the next president, which
right.
was Trump.
And then the Bidens are just basically a crime family, and everybody know this, and don't nobody really want to talk about how basically corrupt Joe Biden is, just like how the other day his son Hunter Biden was supposed to show up for his subpoena and he didn't show up, right? And we have all of this evidence to where he's been doing business with the CCP. That's the China Communist Party. That is treason, in my opinion, right? So I feel like it's democratic privilege at this point, and they're using people that's blind. And sadly, like, it's sad to say that, but majority black people, you know what I'm saying, we only vote Democrat because we don't really know the information that's out there. Like, people don't really understand, like, the Republicans, in my opinion, and I read a lot. So in my opinion, I feel like the Republicans have done way more for us. The Democrats, they've started all of the racist taxes. They started the KKK. They got LBJ saying we're going to have these N-words voting, you know what I'm saying, Democrat for over 200 years. And I don't want to prove them right when she says that,
well,
but
you know what? When I was little, my grandmother, my grandparents, my aunties and uncles, them, all they knew was Democrat. I don't even think they knew the history of it. Same way with religion at this point. Exactly. After 50-something years, I realized that I was wrong on religion. But it was Democrat. Vote Democrat. I never even did no investigation on politics. Okay, I'm a Democrat. But hell, every time I voted Democrat, I lost more money than I'm being, a non-Democrat, a liberal or a Republican. But I was just doing what I was taught and what was passed down to me from my generations and everybody in my generations. My grandmother had almost 14 kids, and out of them kids, one kid had 10 kids, so it was a whole band of us that was raised, and with that, vote Democrat. And that's because they was being taught. I think they still had that slave mentality on voting Democrat, and I don't even, at this point, I don't even think nobody did no research about the politicians. It was just something told to them throughout the neighborhood to vote Democrat. And us, being the generations after the generations, never looked and thought about, okay, well, what is the real thing about politics, until we started doing it ourselves. But before then, we were just basically Democrats, and that was passed down to us.
Right. That's the whole thing, and that's the whole thing. Where it's a passed down thing. I mean, like I say, we can't believe our lying eyes. I mean, look out the window. Right. Go up the street. I mean, how many times you got to tuck your purse when you come in after 6 o'clock when it turned dark? I mean, why do we keep voting? Ever since I was a little kid, even before I can vote up until now, why do we keep? It's some people been in office over 20 years. Why do we keep
like
putting
Joe Biden
and Danny Davis?
I mean Jesse Jackson. Why do we keep putting the same people? I mean, if your community, if your neighborhood haven't changed, why? The next 4 years, you'll turn around and run right back in there and vote that same person back in.
That leads to my next question. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but the black people have been voting Democrat for over 60 years, and we haven't been seeing a change at all. So, do you think it's smart to keep voting Democrat if we haven't seen a change?
No.
And as far as like, in my opinion, I don't think the Democrats is good for us, and especially what they. Their narratives nowadays are trying to get rid of free speech, so you basically can't even say what you want anymore, even if it's true. They'll censor it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the mainstream media. That's kind of their gig a little bit.
I would say do your homework and vote the party that you feel the best. Not who your grandmother told you, or you know. I mean, exactly. I mean, look at the double standard right now. Just imagine if it was Trump and his son right now doing everything that
ripple, just one red ripple would literally crumble his whole.
Look how much is being not medialized in the media.
But you got people like Letitia Jackson that's basically doing these false, charges of Trump. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she ran. Her whole platform was to run and say, "I'm going to get Trump."
She's a puppet.
I mean,
basically,
she's puppet.
I mean, but it's going on. I mean,
she's gonna get paid. Her mama or somebody in her family is gonna get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not suffering the consequences, not yet.
Exactly.
But it's gonna come to her at the end of the day, because right is right and wrong is wrong, and truth always prevail. It may be like 6 months from now, 6 years from now, but it's gonna come back to them all. Joe Biden, I would not vote for him. He could barely go up an airplane without falling. He's tripping over his dog. He can't ride a bike. No, I'm serious.
Oh, you right.
He's too old to be the president. Every time I'm embarrassed for him. Every time I see him, he's falling and tripping, and I be like, "Oh Lord."
I'm sorry.
I'm serious.
You right.
So I'm sad for him, and I'm sad because they got that man trying to be the president of the United States, and he's not.
He don't even got a good memory, because you know the Democrats they go to.
When you start getting older and you start falling upstairs, tripping over dogs and bicycles and all that, no, it's time to retire. Go fishing, go golfing, but trying to take over the United States, that's too much for that man.
But that's what they thought Trump. That's what they thought Trump was trying to do.
Sad people and sick ass people to have that man to run for president.
Yeah, so look, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. You said they wanted to take over the country, right? So they actually tried to say,
president.
Yeah, no, yeah, we gonna
sorry for him.
And I want to say,
retire and enjoy the rest of the years he got left.
That's right. That's right. So look, they basically tried to say Trump tried to take over America on January 6th when they say he committed insurrection violating the 14th Amendment, which basically came out to a 9-0 vote when it came to the Supreme Court. So basically it was a unanimous decision. So my thing is, and Joe Biden, by the way, he didn't even remember January 6th. He said July 6th. This is after the State of the Union speech. So his memory, like you said, he not even.
Think about this right here. Think about this. Hold on, baby. Hold on.
Let me say this. Every time it's something going on, it's always center stage. Kansas City just had a big revival on winning the Super Bowl. How many people got killed in that?
Right.
Before that, they had incidents on these people getting shot. All these riots lead up to death. They had bombings and all these riots lead up to death. They even had one bombing to where the guy just started shooting up a parade.
Yeah, it's an Abbey Gate bombing. Actually, they talked about that at the State of the Union.
Every time somebody tried to protest something, it's violence. They tore up Chicago. All those stores, those people are hard-working people making these businesses, and all they decided, oh, well, we gonna protest because somebody got shot or whatever, and they busting windows out. What about them people?
Okay.
Why the hell they didn't lock them people up that tore up all of Chicago downtown at those nice stores?
Okay, well, think about. Let's go back to the January 6th. Mm-hmm. Okay, we making this sound like. They making it sound like it's a 9/11, right?
Exactly.
Just think. Let's think about how many guns did they find on those people in January 6th? How many people other than the one trigger happy
security let them in.
The one trigger happy security guard in the White House shot the military lady. How many people got killed?
One person died, and that was from cardiac arrest.
On January 6th. Here's the thing. Think about the first time when Trump won the White House and was coming down the Oval Stairs. Mm-hmm. Don't you remember the 3-day riots we had in all the states? Don't you remember just right here where we at in Illinois? Do you remember? Don't you remember all the stuff that tore up all the policemen that got hurt?
Yeah, a lot of people
during that time. That riot was 10 times better, worse than January 6th.
So
But you don't hear anything about it.
Speaking of riots, so I know you guys are familiar with George Floyd, right? They rioted for him. How do you guys feel about the Black Lives Matter movement? Let me ask her first because she's a little younger. So I just want to ask her, how do you feel about the Black Lives Matter movement?
You know, it's so crazy because I had a friend when I was in college. His father owned satellites. And so he was telling me that Black Lives Matter was a scam then.
It was, yeah.
And so he was telling me this because, you know, he had information because back then we just like, oh, like, you know, they're killing black people and everything like that. But he told me that then. And then it wasn't until later, which I find like crazy, is like, for example, with Trump was just like, don't let people in the border. It can, you know, it's going to cause a chaos in America. And then now people just like,
2012.
yeah. And now,
high school. Literally.
yeah. And now people are just like, oh, he was right. Like, it's getting crazy. I mean, you see that in New York and in Chicago with the overcrowding. And now they're talking about crime and prostitution, or at least I know they said that in New York.
No, it's true.
Yeah. And so, for me, it was just like, I don't know, it's just crazy how, like the truth. It's the truth.
Hypocrisy, right?
Yeah,
it's the hypocrisy.
yeah.
Your question again was about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Well, where are they at today?
Oh, and
Exactly.
it's a scam.
Yeah, because she's been exposed. Actually, she's been exposed by Candace Owens,
You've been exposed.
the owner. Yeah.
Even before that, Prince.
Mhm.
He donated to $1.5 million to Black Lives Matter, and realized that he got scammed.
Because it went to mansions. It went to money like her brother. She'd given her brother like at least $3 million out of the organization.
And you're a fraud.
She's a fraud. Yes.
Because we ain't seen you since.
The man they're using the organization for is a criminal. He's a career criminal.
He is a criminal. Because I got a no trespassing on my sign. He had to come here. He been shot.
He put a gun into a pregnant woman's stomach.
And that's a criminal.
That's it.
He's been out of jail.
But they have gold statues of this guy.
Okay, but see, that's what
you have to remember. You have to remember.
That they following up.
You have to remember that's
the father of lies.
You have to remember
And
the
deceit.
George Floyd. That was another movement. You know, just to stir us up.
Yeah.
Do you think they really? You know what I'm
Same way
saying?
with-
What
with
about
Riley
Lake and Riley? That's most recent. Did we have a movement for her?
They had to actually force Joe Biden to speak about Lincoln Riley at the state.
Because that's not for the media agenda. That's not what they're trying
Because
to
it's
push.
it's not quoting. Oh, black people.
That's not what they're
because-
trying to push.
It's because she was murdered by an illegal too, and they support illegal immigrants.
But she's a white girl, so okay, we're gonna do the black people. Look how they doing to everybody, even Kamala Harris.
It's against
You
the
know,
agenda.
oh, we're gonna
Yeah,
do
it is.
you done.
What are we going to push?
She done locked up all the guys up in California as governor. You know what I'm saying? So now, we black people, we need to, you want to stick with the black doctors. What about those black doctors in California when she was governor in California and locked up all those brothers in California?
The moral,
So now you want to say we're black lives, we are black people.
the moral
No.
of it is
Back then, they sold us and they selling us again.
the moral is
That's
what,
an amazing answer, by the way.
is what they trying to push. The media got us blinded. Channel 2, Channel 7, Channel 5, 9,
Mainstream
CNN. It's two medias. I mean, they're any. Joe Biden could have been destroyed. All the stuff him and his son is doing, his brother doing over
his
there.
son's a crackhead.
The millions of dollars that he having his kids. He got all these Shell gas stations, all these luxury homes all over the United States. All this money from Russia and China, all these
Ukraine
things,
too.
Ukraine, all these different things. Even in Ukraine, they even got that guy over there crooked.
But then they got Donald Trump because of the
Looking like
lady.
the bad guy.
No, because the lady that what was her name? Stormy Daniels.
I know you're
Because
talking
he's
about.
committing
that's big.
adultery.
Right.
He's committing adultery.
That's digging. That's common and digging.
Calm down. I'm just saying they want to put him on trial because Stormy Daniels, like the man say, maybe he was trying to hide it from his wife and kids. And trying to pay off hush money, adultery. How many men in politics sleeping around? with
lot
their
of 'em.
secretary. Look
A
at
lot
Bill
of 'em.
Clinton and Monica
Epstein
Lewinsky.
Island.
Ain't nobody
Epstein
said that.
Island. Ooh wee.
You know, she was down there giving the president a job here. Did he get in trouble? But now you want to do all this to Donald Trump.
Right.
You know, so come on.
I just wanna-
How soon they forget?
Can I just say one thing? I'm loving this right now, guys. This is absolutely great. This is great.
Even with Joe Biden when he put his hands on the lady back in the lady's shoulder.
He's
walking
creepy.
behind her
That's what I'm
and
like.
kissed
He's
her
weird.
and grabbed, and the lady told
probably
him.
trying to
Wait a
hold
minute,
her from falling.
and the lady told him, you know, to calm down. I mean, I report you, and he said, "Go ahead. What you think gonna happen? Ain't nothing gonna happen to me." They're fearless because they know.
They're cocky. Yeah,
see-
that's
you
why
see-
that's why the Biden crime family feel like they can do whatever they
Well,
want.
I mean, the people that's behind Joe, it's the ones that's really pushing it. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they can get Joe whenever they want to. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Anytime he want to say, "I'm not gonna do this," because really, I mean, look back in his history. You know, he been in politics forever. Go back into his history. Do you think he was really for black people?
No, he
And for
said
different religions?
actually that's actually a good point that you said that.
Was it 82 or
Go back
83?
into his
That's
history.
actually a
Read
good
some of the-
point
read-
because
read
he-
the copyright. Look at some of the stuff he said and did.
That's actually a good point.
He didn't want his kids around something.
Go.
He said-
Google black predators.
No,
Predators.
no.
Predators.
I actually can quote something he said. He said, "We already have black mayors. We don't need no more N-word big shots around in politics."
There you go.
That's one thing I can quote. One thing, another thing he said is, "Black kids are just
predators.
as smart and talented as white kids." I mean, we knew that already. You didn't have to point that out. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
this was back in some of the 80s.
I know, yeah. One of that, the first one I made, that was a long time ago. So he was like full core racist. But they want to call Trump racist. The same guy that was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the same guy that defended Mike Tyson, the same guy that got LeVar Ball's son out of China, the same guy that freed Kodak Black. He blacker than all us put together.
The same guy that took pictures with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton,
Snoop Dogg,
and everybody.
And
He was
how
in
many
there.
how many prisoners did he have to give up? Versus Joe Biden let that basketball player had to switch her for unknown
Brittany
criminal.
Griner, yeah,
Griner.
exactly. Because
So you have to change her for all these.
they traded her for a Russian gunsman. His nickname is the Merchant of Death, by the way. Oh, it was more?
He didn't have to trade. Donald Trump didn't have to trade nobody.
No, there actually was no anything going on in the Middle East. Trump had everything locked down.
Exactly, but so with Brittany Griner, so Joe Biden can feel good that he released even though they left the other
Left the military
they
guy.
left the military guy there that's been there that served the country
That was a
of
slap in
United
the face
States
to everybody in the
other than the
military.
basketball player that okay, it's the WNBA. Who
talk
watches
about-
that?
talk about
I
this-
don't watch it.
And then
I'm
what
just
she
saying.
did was like bring.
She had weed.
Yeah.
She had weed, Stephen A.
It ain't like she was guilty as fuck.
Yeah, she's guilty.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Yeah.
loving this guy.
And then y'all sit up here and change for this armed criminal that we have to give back to Russia.
Russia gunsman, yeah.
That way he could come back and do it again.
Talk about the $6 billion that he just sent. For the what was it, for the 5 or 6 Americans? He had to give up $6 billion to Iran, and now all of a sudden they got enough money for the trigger for the nuclear weapon that they're trying to build.
Okay, so
I don't even think I knew that.
okay, so how you gonna give money to both of the people that's fighting?
He's giving money to Israel and Gaza. He's funding both sides of the war, yes.
Can't get to Gaza. Because the people on Gaza is telling him, oh, that's wrong, and the people on Israel is going, so he need their vote, so I'm gonna give you here. Come on,
It's
dude.
all about votes, okay?
No, that's why I say he need to
He
step
started
down.
off saying, "I stand with
If you
Israel,"
gonna stand with somebody, you gotta stand
Until people started protesting outside the White House, which is way worse than what they did on January 6th, in my opinion.
I know you ain't gonna switch up on us.
He will.
If depending on the votes, he
Oh,
is.
oh, yeah, he did. That's why we didn't get our student loan. So you're right.
That's why we didn't get a lot. And that's still why it's a lot of kids being trafficked under Joe Biden right now as we speak. Like,
I'm
it's
telling you,
ridiculous, man.
I'm telling you,
When the last time he been to the border?
the media got that guy.
Never.
I mean, the people that's behind closed doors got Joe and his son anytime they want. the laptops, all the foreign deals, all the money, all the different things.
The documents that was in his garage.
They got him
That's
whenever
why
they
he
want.
can't step down as
That's
being
why.
president.
That's why everything that they pushing, he's just a face.
Right.
Everything they pushing.
I honestly think Obama's the one that's still in charge, if I'm being
puppet
honest.
master. That's the puppet master.
So I got one more question for you guys. And I know you guys, you know what I'm saying, are very knowledgeable in this stuff. This actually why, you know what I'm saying, half of the reason why I'm here. So I've been going to church on Sunday my whole entire life, right? I've believed my whole entire life that when you pass away, you're going to ascend into heaven and be one with Jesus Christ and with the other, you know, Christians that done good in life and all this stuff. So how do you guys feel about that narrative?
Show me that in the Bible that we're going to heaven. If you can show me that we're going in heaven, I'll give you $100 for everybody to show me that Jesus said he's taking us to heaven when we die. That's all I got to say.
Well, that's not true. I believed that all my life and until I read it for myself, and that's completely false. We're not going to heaven.
The whole thing is, just like my daughter said, we've been in church our whole life. Things that was passed down, you know, from our, you know, grandmother's mother, things that were passed down. But now that we got older, I'm old enough to now I can see things for myself, and I got lucky enough to you know get my eyes open. I'm gonna say, and I start investigating things and start asking questions to my pastor. You know that I was going to a Baptist church, and I started asking my pastor because I was talking to an Israelite pastor, right, and I started going back to the Baptist church asking questions. You know, I'm reading it, what I was supposed to be reading, and it wasn't adding up to what I was being taught.
Exactly, right.
So I'm looking. I read the Bible. I've looked all through the Bible. Where do it say that? Like my wife said, where do it say that we go into heaven? Anywhere in the Bible. Where do it say that we're gonna go up, rapture up to heaven, go up to heaven? It's not in there. Only place in the Bible that says somebody's going to heaven is in Isaiah 14, verses 12 through 15. Well, Satan said he wanted to go back to his homecoming. That's where he came from.
And who you said that they want to go to heaven?
Satan.
Okay.
Satan.
Again, who?
Satan. That's the only place you can
that's my
find.
thing, and that's my thing.
That's the only person who want to go back to.
Right.
It's Satan.
Me personally, how I feel about it is like it kind of changed my whole narrative when Brother Bowie, actually I watched him today, he broke it down basically show me in the Bible where it said you're gonna send it to heaven. And me personally, like, it's just a common sense question, like, why would Jesus want us to come to heaven when he's trying to get here? He's trying to get to earth. You feel what I'm saying? So
he's going to come back down here, and he's going to sit on the throne of David and rule out of Judah. You can go and read it for yourself. We're going to the ground. When we pass, when we die, we're going into the ground until it's time to be judged. Either the white throne judgment, or if you make it to the first resurrection, you're going to come down and reign with Jesus for 1,000 years. That's the time of the millennium. If you make it to the first resurrection, if not, you're going to be judged at the white throne judgment. Other than that, you're going to be in the ground. You're not going up to heaven.
And a lot of people say that they saved. We're not saved yet because Jesus ain't came back yet.
exactly. That's
How
what
can
I
you
was
be saved if Jesus hasn't came back?
Right.
You know, people, I'm saved and highly favored. No, you're not saved because Jesus hasn't came yet.
You haven't been judged yet. Jesus said he's going to have his reward
Because
with
we
him.
don't know if we're going to be saved. Yeah. We don't know if we're going there or not.
Right.
Maybe my ways is not different. Am I keeping the word? Am I keeping the commandment? And am I keeping the Sabbath day? Mm-hmm. Those things that Jesus said, that's the only way you're going to have everlasting life.
Exactly.
And it's going to be on David's throne in Jerusalem. It's not going to be in heaven. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So everlasting life is that we got to keep his commandments and his laws and his statutes. Mm-hmm. Commandments. It's easy. Don't kill nobody. Don't have no other gods. A lot of people, we can't live by that. The Sabbath day is the day, whatever day. It's not about you. God say his Sabbath day. It ain't about your Sabbath day. If he wants Saturday to be his Sabbath day, then Saturday. Because nowadays they trying to make Sunday as the last day of the week and trying to make Monday the first. They bringing out these new calendars that's saying Monday gonna be the first day of the week, and that way Sunday will be the Sabbath day.
Right.
But if you go look at your calendar, the first day of the week is Sunday. And it's throughout the whole Bible. If you read your Bible, open it up, read it for yourselves. That's what Jesus said. Don't let no man deceive you. No man mean pastors, your job, your husband, your kids, nobody. Read it.
Yeah.
Read it for yourself.
Yeah.
And see, this is my Sabbath. Keep it holy, meaning you got the rest. You know, I had people that say, well, the Sabbath day, whatever day you rest. No, it didn't say me. It said God. And I'm not God.
Right.
And that's scary, because guess what? When God come back down here, when Jesus come back down here, who do you think he's going to war with? Martians? No, he's going to war with people. All those people that's not listening and not obeying his statutes and not paying attention. All it takes is one person to say, hey, this, that, and the fourth, but everybody's so stuck in their ways. Like I say, I can't save nobody. I could tell my granddaughter, I feel sorry for y'all if y'all don't listen to me. My daughters, my son, my husband, but every man for themselves on this eternal life.
For sure.
Yeah, I think, like she stated, to research and read. I feel like that's how people perish, is because they don't read or do any type of research for themselves.
And another thing, it's crazy that people be on this earth so long and haven't even read the whole entire Bible. Y'all could go to school and read all these Bibles and charter books throughout school, young and old. Have anybody ever read the whole entire Bible?
Or like a scripture.
Or anything. Read from Genesis to Revelations. And when you get there, you'll get scared.
Yeah, sure.
It's scary.
It's scary, yeah.
When I used to go to church, I wasn't scared, but now that I go to this church, I'm scared. I'm like, ooh, this gonna happen and this gonna happen. I've never read the book of Obadiah when I was in a Baptist church. I never read the book of Lamentations, the book of Joel, the book of Amos. You know, all these books that my pastor read, and he don't miss not one book. I never knew when I was a Baptist church. All we knew was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Acts. And that was it.
Right now, like
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Acts. You know what I'm saying? They'll go back to Psalms, read the 37 numbers of Psalms, or either. But at the end of the day, that's a big book for us not to read it.
Right.
If God wanted us to just have a book, he'd just make a half a book. But he made the whole book. That's how I say.
Yeah, there was a lot. You have to remember, like I said, the Sunday teaching. I mean, right off the bat, the Lord said 6 days that we work, and the 7 days should be a Sabbath. Should be the Sabbath. We have to remember that you have to do everything in order. We was taught that you can kiss the food up. You know, bless the food. The Lord said, "Lord, that we're Baptists. I mean, they call us Israelites. It's Israelites in the Bible. That they say you Baptists, you can you go into heaven. And if you read it, say you go into the ground. I mean, it's so many different things. I mean, they going to Easter tomorrow. I mean, Friday they say was Good Friday, and you go into John's 20, it say 3 days and 3 nights Jesus was in the grave, right? I mean, how can you get 3 days from Friday to Sunday? So everybody that's going to be in church on Sunday talking about Happy Easter on Sunday, I mean that's already being
that's going to be controversial.
That's
already you talking about Easter eggs and Easter. That's the goddess of vitality that you're talking about when you're talking about Easter eggs and all of that. I mean, things that we're not. I mean, you can go into Daniel's 9 and read it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? 9 through 11. It'll tell you where the Messiah was cut off after 62 weeks. That's 72 months. So that put you from the Sabbath day. That put you at a Wednesday.
Right.
You know, Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, and then when you go into John and read 3 days and 3 nights, Jesus was in the grave. That puts him rising on the Sabbath day. I mean, it's simple math.
And then
but still,
he said Daniel's in John because a lot of people say, "Oh, they New Testament," but Daniel said that in the Old Testament, and John also said in the New Testament. So both of these prophets is saying the same thing.
I mean, but we also
in the New and the Old
I mean,
Testament.
but we still, because of the paganism, we still saying Good Friday and Happy Easter, same way, like with Christmas. Christ never had a mass. That's Catholic.
Right.
Christ never had a mass. So why are we celebrating Christmas? The Lord, it's nowhere in the Bible where the Lord said, "Remember my birth." First of all, he wasn't even born on December 25th. Right. That's the day. That's the longest day after the shortest. That's the day of the Ankokoa God. You know, that's you worshiping, you know, the sun, Dia Solar, and all them different things. The Lord said, "Remember my death." Right. It don't say anything about remember my birth. And even if he did, it wasn't nowhere. Where do we get that December 25th from? You see what I'm saying? Those are paganism.
Probably from one of the 400, I say prophets that was contained.
What God told us the one about those idols and worshiping other gods, which is Baal.
Right.
And that's what the children of Israel did. They started worshiping other idols because you can't worship December 25th, but because that's considered to be Baal. Mm-hmm. So that's why Israel got in trouble for.
Didn't know that.
From time and time again.
That's all we got for today, guys. It was a wonderful discussion. We had some laughs. We had a bunch of great debates, guys.
That was it. I need some more.
I know, right? I think they gonna love you, man. They gonna love you, man. But anything else you guys want to say? Any ending remarks or?
I just want to say this is the time. This is the time out where we're in the fourth wind, and it's time out for all this falsehood things. If you go into Daniel 2, the Lord said, "The day of these kings shall the God of heaven shall the God of heaven set up His kingdom." That means that He's coming now soon. So it's a time out for all of this playing. And we need to get into this word and learn about the Sabbath, learn about the dietary laws, learn about the commandments, keeping the 10 Commandments and different things, and start walking around with this paganism.
I like that.
Yeah, I also like to add upon that there's no time for games. It's too many signs out there. I know one of the signs in Revelation, it talks about the Euphrates River drying up, and the Euphrates River that's over there, it's almost gone. It's almost done. And just read your word, ask God for wisdom and for truth, and He will send you somebody your way. Like, I don't know if you guys know about Brother Bowie, or
I would definitely recommend you guys check him out. Yeah,
and also read your scripture, even if you start with a verse of the day, and just try to read your word, because salvation, you are responsible for your own salvation. So just reading the word to understand the truth. Like, for example, I learned, I know about some of the dietitian laws, but one of the things that I've learned recently was just we can't drink milk. We can't drink milk. And another thing that I had learned that I found it was hilarious was that God didn't want us to call anybody else father. And that's something that the Catholic Romans do when they refer to a priest or a pope.
That's why we say brother.
And
father flagrant.
Yeah, and so I thought that was also interesting, and I believe that's in Matthew.
All I got to say is, don't let no man deceive you, no politician, no pastor, no teacher, no job, no husband, no kid, no anybody. But ask God, ask Jesus to show you, and ask Him that you do not be deceived, to where your eyes be open and you can see, and your ears be open to where you can hear. Because that's the biggest thing. That's how I got to where I'm in right now. That's it.
That's some great ending remarks, guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of y'all day to, answer these questions, just kick it with me. And make sure you guys, if you guys like that interview, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys return to the channel if you guys are returning viewers. And I will see you guys next time, and I'm out. Peace.